How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 mods that are my favorite on my 2014 Subaru WRX Hatchback that's currently pushing about 450 wheel horsepower by 460 wheel torque on E85. I'm going to go finish some exhaust clips that I have to do for Grimmspeed, and I'll show you guys those as a little teaser. But then we'll talk about the top 5 mods that I have on this car that's pretty modified. So these are going to be mods that you should look into if you have a modified Subaru or you just want to really better your Subaru. I kind of already did a top 5 first mods that you should do, and then a top 5 first performance mods, but these are like overall my top 5 favorite mods ever to this car. So I'm gonna let this thing warm up for a little and then we'll go. How's it going, guys? My name is Clint Fletcher, also known as CALIWRX. Behind me is my 2014 Subaru WRX Hatchback. And before I tell you my top 5 mods that are my favorite, let me give you a little brief history about this car. It is not stock, it's far from stock. It's gone through 2 different motors. It's pushing 450 at 22 PSI on a GTX 3071R turbo, which is nowhere near the capabilities of this turbo, but we're keeping it reliable for this sake. I track the car, I drive the car, I have fun in the car. It's got a bunch of different STI swaps on it, and it's no longer WRX, I can say, and a lot of people that follow me also say it's no longer a WRX. But without further ado, it's been through a lot of changes, and I've thrown a lot of parts at it, a lot of money, and so these are my top 5 favorite mods that I've done so far to this car. Let's get started. First modification that I will have to say is one of my favorites is the first wheel I ever picked out. These are the Work of Motion XD9s. They're 18 by 9 plus 38 wrapped in the Michelin Pilot Super Sports, which are 265, 35, 18. No stretch on these puppies. Going for as much meat as I can possible. The reason I love these wheels so much was first when I got them, they're matte silver or matte bronze, I can't quite remember. And immediately I shipped them off and got them painted Kawasaki green. That's, I want to say, the main reason people found me was for the gray and green combo that I used to have. I'll throw some clips up right now. These wheels made me stand out from a lot of different people, and then actually, ironically, maybe just the beginning of 2019, more people are starting to rock green wheels. Another reason I love these though are because no one has them much anymore. You see the new D9R that the Work of Motions came out with, but if you go to a lot of car shows, you go to Subaru shows mainly, you don't really see Work of Motion XC9s anymore. I've been on the fence of selling these for quite a while because I really want TE37s. Those are the dream to have, are TE37s, but everyone and their mama has those, so Old Faithful here I keep keeping because honestly no one has them, like I said before, and they are a badass looking wheel. I fell in love with them from the very beginning. I did want the 18 by 11s with the deep dish at first, but that'd be very impractical for what I want to do with this car. And yeah, mainly this is probably my top favorite mod of this car, just because it's one of the first ones I ever did. Next, we'll move on. This next one you can't really see, and it's going to be hard for me to show you, but I have some clips, I believe. The next one is the carbon fiber drive shaft. That thing, If you guys are notorious for driving Subarus, you know the first and second gear can be a bit sloppy, a bit of a bucking bronco. The carbon fiber drive shaft completely eliminates that. Also, when you press the gas, you notice there is sometimes a dead space or a slight hesitation between the initial throttle push. Carbon fiber drive shaft, that is gone. You push the throttle and you have instant response, kind of like an NA almost, you can say, but you feel the power being delivered the instant you push down on the pedal. Also, in parking lots, going over speed bumps, if you're modulating the car and stuff, and once again you get the bucking bronco, this carbon fiber drive shaft does a very good job at eliminating that. I'm not exactly sure, maybe it's the rotational speed, how light it is, but basically any of that bucking, unless you're doing it on purpose or you're really chugging the car, most of the bucking is gone. And carbon fiber drive shaft is something that's highly overlooked by a lot of people, but it's been one of my top favorite mods. It's one of those mods that you put it in and you think you're going to have placebo, but no, you feel it right away. You can tell the difference. The main difference I felt was, once again, the first to second initial shift and the throttle response. And then finally, getting used to it, I realized that also the bucking has been gone as well. Next, kind of going along with what I just said, the drive shaft, we're going to be talking about this STI 6-speed swap. Alright, next up we're talking about the STI 6-speed swap. I had the WRX trans, and initially I knew I was going to go for more power, so the WRX trans, it's kind of like a grenade. You never know when it's going to go. It doesn't really hold power that well. So we swapped one out. We found one on eBay. This is a 2013 or 11, I believe, STI trans swap. We did not change the axles. We did not change the hubs. So it's still 5x100. I do not have a DC CD controller either as well. I have a full installation walkthrough on my channel if you want to see what you need to do a 6-speed swap. Honestly, it's not that expensive, and it's definitely worth doing it. Kind of looking back, I wish I did the axles and knuckles and all that, because the 5x114 options for wheels is a lot better. But 6-speed swap is, there's no other way to put it except for my reaction video that I did when I first drove this car with the 6-speed swap. There is an initial learning curve, especially driving around in the canyons and stuff, because the gears are much shorter than a WRX gear, but on the track you're going to be able to optimize where you are in the power band much better than the WRX gears. Sometimes you're chugging it out on 5th on the back straight. Sometimes you're in 4th gear, you can't find 3rd on a WRX. Whereas this in the STI, you're going to have no problem figuring out what gear you need to be in for the right power band that you are. Also, we paired it up with the STI short throw shifter. I used to have the Kart Boy. Preferably, I like the Kart Boy more, but the SPT or whatever the factory STI short throw shifter isn't that bad either. We also have front and rear bushings from Cobb. That really tightens up everything, less slop. Recommend doing that if you do a short throw shifter. And the reason I upgraded mainly is because there's a couple things you touch every single day: your steering wheel, your seat, your pedals, your clutch, and your shifter. If you don't have something like a good shifter, the WRX shifter throws are so long, the STI throws are a little shorter, but this is something I use every single day when I drive this car, and I really want something I enjoy. So next, I'm going to leave you guys here, because I'm actually sitting in it right now. This is my 4th favorite mod, and this is the Sparco seats. It doesn't have to be a Sparco seat, it can be whatever you want, but an aftermarket bucket seat is something I highly think is something that you should upgrade to. Stock STI seats, the stock WRX seats, complete trash. I mean, yes, they're very comfy for like cruises, long drives, something where you're not pushing a lot of G's and throwing your body around, but if you guys are going to be doing aggressive driving style, you don't need the halo. That's overkill for a lot of people. But the shoulder bolstering, the back bolstering, thighs, and the legs, something you definitely want if you're going to be driving your car hard and aggressive, because it is something that's just going to hold you planted. You're no longer going to be resting your leg on the door. You're not going to be resting your leg on here. All that energy of trying to brace yourself through the floorboards is going to be focused now on driving. You want less, or you want your whole mind on driving. You don't want to be thinking about anything else, like you're sliding around, you can't hold yourself on driving. That's about it. The Sparco seats, or any bucket seat, aftermarket seat for that matter, is a highly recommendation on my list. I would say this is probably my 2nd favorite mod. So first are the wheels, 2nd seats, probably 3rd shifter, Fourth will be what I'm talking about next, and fifth is the drive shaft. Seats make an immense amount of difference. Anyone that's gone for a ride in my car really comments on how well the seats hold them and hug them and stuff, and it completely changes your driving style. I've convinced people to buy bucket seats, and they thank me. They never look back. Just do a lot of research, figure out which one fits you best, figure out which one is going to maximize your driving. Don't get something that's complete overkill or top of the line like Bride and get a $2,000 seat and not pick out one that's going to work for your situation. But let's go ahead and move on to the very last one, which is sway bars and end links. So this is another mod that you're not really going to be able to see, so I'll just show you guys this. Anyways, if you guys are familiar with my top 5 first mods you should do, top 5 performance mods you should do, you will know every single time I've said sway bars and end links. Big fan of what sway bars and end links do. Oh, there's a rabbit. What they can do to your car and maximize your car suspension, basically. It eliminates body roll. Dang, that guy's fast. Gets rid of body roll, tightens up the chassis, helps with turn-ins. It's basically the best bang for your buck suspension part that you can get for your car. Relatively cheap too. I mean, you can get a whole set for front, rear, with end links for, I want to say, $400, $500 maybe, which is, yes, a lot cheaper than a coilover, but I think these should be bought before coilovers. That's just my personal preference. You guys might disagree, but these are, once again, my top 5 favorite mods of all time. If you guys want to learn more, I believe I have to really look and find it, but there's a definitely good write-up about sway bars and end links. If you get end links, make sure to get the spacers, because the front ones do not come with them, but the rears do. And if you install the fronts without spacers, you're going to have an immense amount of clunking noises. Another tip is install the sway bars and end links under load. So that means don't have your wheels completely aired out or flattened out, and so the springs are completely uncompressed, because when you compress them, the end link is supposed to be parallel with the sway bar. And if you do it in the air and there's no load, when you drop the car down, all that load is going to drop and your end link is going to go inwards, which is going to cause unnecessary clunking, possible end link failure, and so on. So make sure you install them right. Make sure you do your research. There's so many different sway bars. There's adjustable, there's non-adjustable, there's super fat, there's pretty skinny. You can do just the front, you can do just the rear, but do your research on which one's going to suit your driving style best. If you daily drive the car and you don't want coilovers, but you just want a little something to help you with the turn-in, with taking turns fast and stuff like that, sway bars and end links are your go-to mod. So that's basically it. Let me close it out. Alright guys, that concludes the top 5 favorite mods of what I have. We'll go through them again. Work Motion XC9, seats, short throw shifter, 6-speed swap to be exact, sway bars and end links, and carbon fiber drive shaft. Those are my top 5 favorite mods. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you guys are new, subscribe. If you're not new, welcome back. Enjoy. Thank you for guys watching the video. But yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.